Hey, it's Justin Prime. This week, I will be covering my follow list on Instagram and why I emptied it out. I'm down to 34, 36, something like that, people that I follow. I'm also going to be taking my artist inventory challenge, which I do every week. That's where I hold myself accountable for the week. Plus, I will discuss a tool I'm using, someone I follow, someone who follows me. We'll learn what the Lab 5 weekly challenges, and you'll get the JP weekly freebie from Comic Central. Welcome to episode 12 of the Jprimecast. So you know I don't typically ask for anything from you guys, and I don't like to, but if you could do me a huge favor and rate this on iTunes before I even get rolling, I kind of want to drop this in there. That would be really, really appreciated. Apparently, it really helps out with my rankings, like how I show up or whatever. And as of right now, I don't even have enough ratings to. It says we have not received enough ratings to display an average for this podcast. I know not everyone listens to this on iTunes, but if you do, or if you could swing by there and leave a rating, that would mean a lot. Things are really picking up for the podcast. I'm so appreciative of everyone giving me their attention and time and listening. And there's no pressure. I'm not going to be like, I don't know who you are, so I can't pressure you anyways. But if you could, it would really help out. Things are really picking up for the podcast, which I'll talk later on about. But that'd be really cool. And if you do it, like, let me know, and I will send you a J Primecast unlock. You also get one for being a member of the Discord community and one for being a listener. So let me know you're a listener, and I'll send you an unlock. If you're a Discord community member, you've already gotten one. And if you leave a rating, I'll leave you an unlock for that as well. There's all these little unlocks that I have made up for people just to show appreciation. It's just a very small way of saying thank you. All right, so tonight I'll be doing this in one shot again because I'm practicing for eventual live streams. That's kind of the point here. I would like to do this by live stream as a way to create some live content while also recording it and having it available on YouTube video and here on the podcast for audio. So I'm practicing that skill. So I'm just going to keep doing this live. So who are we talking today? This is where I look into my Instagram news feed and I look at the last person to interact with me, and that will be who the show is dedicated to. And tonight, that is Chester _ 7724. As long as this person is not, actually, I guess if it's a kid, it's okay, because now this is going to be more of a family friendly thing. I have no idea how old this person is. They have some Marvel Cinematic Universe, all kinds of stuff there. So thanks for being in my news feed. Since I can't tell who you are, how old you are, I'll go to the next person. This is James Earhart. James, thank you so much for popping up in my news feed and for being a follower, or at least for leaving me a like there. Appreciate that. I'm looking through his feed right now. Looks like there's something he's cooking up for people. Oh, he's a cosplayer. That's really cool. I have a lot of respect for cosplayers. There's a lot of love that goes into that craft, I can tell. Oh, he looks like he's a painter also. And he does it live. That's really cool. Right on, man. Oh, wow. Very cool stuff. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you being a follower. And yeah, again, thank you for interacting with me and leaving me a heart on my recent Spider-Man redesign, which I thought sucked. More on that later. All right. What's this guy's name again? Power Chords. That's all one word with a Z at the end. Power Chords. His name's James. So thanks, James. All right. So James, this episode is for you, man. So today I want to talk, before I go into the artist inventory challenge and the other stuff, I'm going to talk about, and again, before I move on, I'm reminding everyone my goal here is to make this a clean podcast, no swearing. for a whole bunch of reasons that I talked about last time. So I'm going to talk about my followers list. I was following, um, I think I had over 700 people I was following. All artists, almost all artists. I think I had a couple. I think I had one personal person that I was following, just a very close friend of mine, and I think a samurai and like a sci-fi feed. Like they have some really high quality, incredible like concept art they were sharing. And but beyond that, it was all followers, 3D artists, 2D artists, comic artists, just people I thought were amazing and inspiring. But for a little while now, I've been feeling like just I needed like a fresh start, and that's I felt like that maybe it's like I needed my own to start over my Instagram profile completely. I haven't done that, but I did rename myself. It's not Justin underscore Prime. It's the other Justin Prime to match my website and YouTube. But what I ended up doing, I realized that I was not having fun looking at my Instagram feed anymore. My just the stuff that pops up, and it's not because of the algorithm changes or whatever. It's just because it's people were just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. I don't blame them. Um, but it just it was predictable and kind of not exciting. Not their fault whatsoever. It's just that I think I'm at a point where I'm looking for something different, and I realized that what I'm looking for is I want to be following a couple different things. I want to be following independent stuff. That's the first thing. I want to see what other independent artists are doing out there, and this includes professionals that are working on their own creator-owned stuff. That intrigues me. But I mean, that's what the podcast is all about. That's what I'm doing. Artistically, is my own creator-owned thing, so it makes sense to me, and it was just kind of that's what I was feeling. Is I want to be inspired by and see what other people are doing. So that's one thing, and so now there's a ton of independent creators out there I'm finding, and I don't want to just follow anyone and everyone. So I'm starting with the people that I know and the people that are part of my Discord community. I'm following them, and who else? Oh, friends of the podcast, people that have done interviews with me. I'm following them as well. So my followers list is at like 34 or something. It's super small. Let me take a look. Where is it? I lost my phone, by the way. I didn't lose it. It's upstairs somewhere, so I'm using my laptop. I'm at 36. I'm following 36 people. So when I go into my newsfeed, I guess you call it. I don't know what you call it. When I go into there, there's not much. And if I'll go in a couple hours after that, and the same stuff is there because I'm not following very many people. What I am following is like I think 4 hashtags. I added a couple more today. So I'm following independent hashtags. It's like hashtag, indie comics, hashtag make comics, making comics, creator owned, that kind of thing. And the Comic Central hashtag that they started is hashtag we are indie comics, I believe. So I'm following that one. And following like Astro Pig and blah blah blah. So there's not a whole lot, but what I am seeing is very different. It's very new. I can't predict what's going to come next. So that's kind of what I want. I want a fresh experience. And the other thing is, I like that it's not constantly something new because I tend to get lost in that stuff. And I leave comments and hearts for people, but when your account's big enough, I assume you kind of lose that. So now I'm making a deliberate effort to interact more with people that are independent creators, amateur level or non-professional level. And I'm one of those people. So we see and read all those comments, we interact. So that's kind of my goal is to do a lot more of that, and not get so lost in following 700 people and getting lost in my just scrolling through and liking and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So having following less people is kind of forcing me to seek out those hashtags and go deep inside of those hashtags and find new artists, make new connections, and that's all part of the community building, which is a major goal of mine. So I'm happy with the change. I love that like independent artists, like I was saying before, that things kind of get predictable and old. Not old, but they get predictable. Independent artists, that like we're constantly doing new things and we're constantly growing because we have to. We don't have to, I guess, but I think you see more risk because there's low risk as far as like we're not gonna get fired. I mean, Astropig is all mine. I can do whatever I want with it. The reward for doing if I do Astropig well and it there's a potential very very high reward for very very low risk. If it bombs, no one cares. But if it does really well, I mean that's the high reward, you know. So I think with indie comics or indie storytelling, there's low risk and high reward. So people take more risks and they try new things out with storytelling and whatnot. And that excites me. I want to go where the storytelling is. You know, there's a free comic on Comic Central called. Where I'm looking at it right now. It's called Stuff. It's a collection of shorts by J.M. Bryan, and that guy he tried different storytelling techniques. There's like 4 short stories in there, and it was all experimentation. I respect the heck out of that. It was really cool. And then there's another one called Before I Was Dad, which has a really cool, cute art style. And this is also it's funny. I just noticed it's also by J.M. Bryan. Look at that. So this guy is doing some experimentation, doing some cool storytelling, and it was very very personal. So that's cool. I like that stuff. Those are not my free comic of the week, the JP Weekly Freebie, just weekly freebie. Just mentioning those. But that's what I want. I want to see people taking risks, and I think a lot of indie comics they do play it safe and just traditional superhero kind of stuff. But it's not a guarantee, you know. So I don't know. That excites me. So I'm really happy with having a small follower count. And like once you get, I don't know how many it takes, but I see people following like a couple thousand people, artists or whatever, and it's like or other accounts. And at that point, like, are you really taking in and getting to know these artists and whatnot? So 700 it just felt like way too many for me. Being down to 36 is a good point right now. I'm sure it'll grow as I make more friends with the Primecast and or make new connections and as I talk to people more and whatnot, make real connections. I think that's what I'm looking for is to have the people I follow be people I feel connected to or who have contributed to the show in some way. So yeah, it's also really cool to see people starting from the bottom. Like I feel like that's where I'm at. I feel like since I didn't complete Sculpture Stories, and I haven't completed Astro Pig, and I haven't completed anything that is really mine. I feel like I'm starting from the bottom, and I think it's neat to see other people there as well, and to see the progression. And that's why the Discord community is so phenomenal. Is because we have people at different skill levels and accomplishment levels. So to see people grow, it's pretty neat. That's kind of what I'm after right now. All right, so my major goals. This is the start of the Artist Inventory Challenge. My major goals are mentorship, and my mentorship, and also community building. Um, this is happening. Excuse me. The community building aspect is going pretty darn well, I think. Among the Discord community, we've got some good connections and growth there. And then also in collaboration with Comic Central, I've been talking with them. There was an interview I did in 2 parts that dropped. Both of them dropped last week, and it was great stuff. I've had a really good response, and it performed really well statistically. Please listen to those if you haven't. And I'm doing the JP Weekly Freebie in collaboration with Comic Central. I have 2 upcoming chats with Comic Central people that I've planned out. So all that's good. It's all community building. That's kind of what I'm going for. And yeah, and I'll talk more about some wins, but and also the Comic Central they just did an interview with Jake Parker. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of that. But that shows me that not everyone's out of reach. Not even the artists that we really really admire. And I guess I assume that these people are just out of reach or they won't respond and I don't make the attempt. But that shows me that, oh, okay, well, so it is possible to set up these interviews even with independent smaller podcasts or whatever. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have no idea how big the Comic Central podcast is actually, but they do a really good job. All right. So the personal artist inventory challenge. My projects are AstroPig and community building, including this podcast. Let's start off with the obstacles first. For AstroPig, I got a little bit stuck. What happened was I got through a double page spread, I think last week, and that went really smoothly. It was like a space scene with the ship leaving a trail of smoke behind, and really, really happy with the way that came out. And I started the next page, which is he's already landed, and he's in his ship, and we see the background and some plant life and some creatures and whatnot, and that went really well. And then the following page is the same scene but at nighttime, and that overall is going really well. But I'm just kind of stuck on what I want to have happen in that scene. As far as on the previous page, there's some purple jelly bean creatures, and at nighttime, I want them to leave, but I don't know what comes back. I don't know what replaces them, or if it's just like not like grass, or I don't know, some sort of plant life that's left behind that they were covering up. So I got kind of stuck there, and I didn't move past it. I seriously would catch myself just staring at the page. I don't know if I was like waiting for an answer to come or create or inspiration or what, but I was just stuck. I was stuck, and rather than moving on, I just stared. I stared. So I feel like I should have gotten more done this week, especially because I didn't schedule any podcasting at all. I haven't done anything in a week. It's last Sunday was the last time I recorded something. I was supposed to do something on Tuesday that didn't happen. So it's been a week. Um, I don't feel like I got enough done, uh, especially since I didn't do any podcasting. But I did make some nice progress with AstroPig, and I'm really, really happy with the way it looks. I should have gotten more done, I feel like. Honestly, this past week, I gave myself probably too much downtime, especially this weekend. I kind of relaxed and let myself have some downtime. I did a lot of Minecraft this weekend, mostly with my daughter. Last night we were up to like midnight playing, and that's the whole night. I didn't do any work last night at all. That's not like me, but I'm glad I did. It was super fun. Today was Mother's Day. I didn't do anything at all today until right now, and it's 11 o'clock at night. Um, so yeah, this week I kind of took it easy for the most part, and I did a whole other. Yeah, I'll get to it, but I did another project as well. So yeah, I don't know. It was a weird week for me. I thought I'd get more done, and I didn't. And that's totally on me. The chances were there, but of course, I take on other things, and I gave myself a little bit more leisure time than I normally would, which is pretty much none. So on Astro Pig, I got stuck. Should have gotten more done, and no one's fault but my own. And so what I should have done is I got stuck on page, I think it's like 11 or something, and I should have gone to the other pages and began those, at least do the pencil work for them. But now I know. Now I know. Learning through the process. The community building aspect, what went wrong there? What obstacles were there? I didn't. It's not really an obstacle, but I didn't post. I'm sorry, I didn't make any new podcasts this week. Besides, well, my goal was, if you listened last week, my goal was to go from Wednesday, because I thought I thought I had something on Tuesday. So my goal was to go Wednesday to this upcoming Wednesday, which is in a few days. And Tuesday didn't happen. So really, I've gone a full 7 days without podcasting, without doing anything new at all. And then I did. That's what I guess that didn't really hurt me, because I have, even though I didn't record anything new, I published 2 episodes, 2 casts that were really good, with Comic Central. And then I have 2 things scheduled for this upcoming week. Plus, this one will be dropping as soon as I'm done with it. So it's not really negative, but I don't know. I guess I'd like to keep going faster with this. So I don't know. It's like a mild obstacle, I guess. So now community building, the other obstacle I think might have happened is that I unfollowed everybody. So this might damage my relationship with people that were, I don't know if people care. I did put a little apology on not an apology, but just letting people know in my stories, hey, I unfollowed everybody. No offense. But I don't know. I don't know if anyone got offended by that or not. No one said a damn thing about it. Probably a non-issue, but I do kind of, I wonder, did that damage a relationship with anybody I was following and they were following me or whatever? The other thing is that the other damage that could be done is that I'm not going to be seeing these people and their work as regularly. I could easily go into Iron Pinky's his feed and catch up, or go into Eric Canetti or whoever. I can go in there and that's actually I prefer that because I can kind of absorb or take in a whole bunch of stuff all at once rather than a little bit each day. So I'm more okay with that. But I'm not going to be a part of these guys' news feeds, and I don't know if that makes a difference at all. Honestly, probably not. That's my assumption, at least. Yeah. So another a big obstacle or fail for me this week was I didn't post on Instagram very much. Um, I pretty much worked on that the same couple pages the whole week. But once I hit the second page and I kind of got stuck, I stopped posting as much. So a few days would go by and I haven't posted any updates. I don't think I've even shared any updates from this nighttime page actually. So I've gone a good chunk without sharing it. It's been a few days. Today I shared my Spider-Man redesign, but before that I said 3 days was I think between today and the last time. That's honestly it's just unacceptable. I need to be posting something each day, and I think I have a solution for that, which I think is so obviously if I don't post, that's going to be a decrease in engagement for me. Um, and I think what I should be doing is posting minor changes if I'm working on a page, rather than posting 3 times a day on what I'm working on. I could post the pencil work for it on Monday, like tomorrow. And then Tuesday I could post the flats, and then Wednesday I could post some refinements or whatever. And I guess I was kind of waiting because the nighttime scene is very similar to the daytime scene, so I was kind of waiting for it to all be done, and then I got stuck, and then I didn't post it all. So I think that's my solution though, is at least post those process things, and that should be a given. That should be an obvious thing, and I just didn't think of it. I got stuck. I don't know. So yeah, I think it'd be a good idea to do to share it in stages, day to day, and that would create in my gallery. That would create all those steps to be able to see the process. I think it'd be really good for people that are coming over to my gallery for the first time, and I think that's has been happening because I have been doing pretty darn well with engaging with hashtags, like looking at hashtags and starting conversations with people or commenting or hearting or whatever. So as those people come to my Instagram gallery, it'd probably be a good idea for them to see those stages, those pencils, flats, and whatnot. And the last obstacle here for my community building, I looked into SoundCloud as a host for the podcasts, or as another host, I guess, because I can't just plug in the RSS feed from Anchor into SoundCloud. SoundCloud does its own thing. You have to upload to them separately, which makes it difficult. And what really sucks is you have to pay for it. So I'm not going to do it. I'm not at a point yet where I want to be taking on an additional cost. And I think the minimum was $7 a month. Obviously, not that much. It's not that much money when you think about it, but you don't get a whole lot. I think you got like three. I get like 3 hours. I can upload with 3 hours worth of time, and that's just not nearly enough for a podcast. So SoundCloud is just not in the cards right now, which sucks because it has so much workability with other platforms. But oh well. So I think SoundCloud is a good community to be a part of because a lot of it's independent. I don't know if all of it is, but there's a huge independent community there. So that kind of sucks, but that's where I'm at right now. All right, so the successes for the week. Let's start off with Astropig. I think it's looking phenomenal. I'm really happy with the way it looks, and I've gotten some really, really good feedback from people. So even though I didn't make as much progress as I wanted to as far as page count, the progress I am making, I think, is really solid, and I'm really, really excited about it. So, and again, good feedback. Got some lots of good feedback from people that have seen it. So that's a big, big, big win for me, obviously. For the community building, the J Primecast is growing pretty rapidly. Last between I think it was between February and March. I'm sorry, from February to March, the amount of times it was listened to grew by like 40%, if I remember correctly. The amount of times between last month, no, I'm sorry, that was March to April. So from April to now, and we're only on day 13. Excuse me, we're only on day 13 of May. It's already grown 60%. So we've had a huge, huge jump in the amount of downloads and plays it gets per day. So the cast is doing really well, and I think a lot of that has to do with that community building stuff that I've been doing. But I don't know who the hell is listening, so I don't know. And working with Comic Central, I know they put the word out there. The JP Weekly Freebies, weekly freebie is probably helping. All the Instagram engagement I've been doing. That 2 weeks ago, that was the Lab 5 weekly challenge, was to initiate like comments and whatnot with the top hashtags of whatever hashtag, and I've just continued to do that each day as much as I can, really. And as mind numbing as it is, I'm trying to be as genuine as possible, and I am. And I think it helps. So yeah, so that the podcast is growing really well, and I'm just beyond thrilled with that. Um, and also, I've gotten some good feedback from the Discord community. They're very active with listening, um, and they seem to be enjoying it. The interviews, I think, are good. Actually, I know they are. The ones with Comic Central, the two last week, are really, really good information. And Lee Jeffrey was just so much fun to talk to. So, all right, yeah. So they've gotten good feedback. I'm doing a little bit more Comic Central collaboration. I have a talk scheduled with Lee again, and we'll be doing some brainstorming about a couple of things. I have an idea I want to pitch to her, but I don't have it all fleshed out. So I kind of want to kind of brainstorm with her, and we're going to record the whole thing, just as a just like documenting the process, basically. Um, that's something that I didn't know about. I didn't realize it, but she and I are both big fans of Gary Vaynerchuk. You guys know I am, but now I didn't. Now we know she is as well. So she understands the whole documenting the process, the whole documentation versus creation. I think it is. I forget what he says, something like that. But yeah, documenting the process is a big deal. So we're just going to record our conversation and our brainstorming, and I don't know, see what comes of it. And then I also have another talk scheduled with someone from Comic Central, and I'm not even sure what her name is. Her Instagram is KM something, and we just chit chatted a little bit a few nights ago. And oh, I know her cat is named Elvis. It's on her Instagram bio. But she just said she likes to work with artists to get to the next level. Sounds like monetarily and socially. So I'm not sure what she's bringing to the table, but I know it's going to be a lot of fun. She has a really cool vibe and energy to her. So I'm just going to kind of let her loose as I talk to her and see what she does for Comic Central and how she can help all of us artists out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I have a really good feel about her. And then my other community building, I think last week I said that I wanted to do an interview with IT Comics. That's Impact Theory. But rather than just flat out asking them, which I had done, I'm going to instead become a part of their community, bring value to them, and then, I don't know, somehow bring it up. That way it's, I don't know, I think Gary Vaynerchuk talks a lot about becoming a part of the community first, adding value, and then making a request. And that's my goal with IT Comics, is to kind of go that long route. So I mentioned them a few times in my Instagram stories updates, and got a good response from them, just some appreciation from IT Comics. And then I also went to the Impact Theory YouTube channel and watched a couple of videos. And man, that's really, really good stuff. It was really good stuff. And it's just the interviews are with people I wouldn't normally have found, but just mind blowing stuff. But anyhow, I left comments because comments are really the kind of lifeblood of social media, and genuine comments about the how he was hosting and the kind of how that the impact that it had on me and his style and whatnot. And so he left me a response just saying, "Hey, appreciate seeing you here in my YouTube comments as well as on Instagram." So that's just cool that he remembered my username across platforms, and that I'm becoming more a part of the Impact Theory community. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I really want to interview, but we'll see. All right, my goals for the week. What's funny is I wrote these goals earlier in the week because I was outlining this, and I was started to write down some goals. And the first one is to open a SoundCloud account and begin that process. And I already did that. Actually, I did, yeah. And I'm not going to do it because it costs money, and it's not worth the money I get that I'd be spending. The next one is continue Astropig. Of course, I'll keep doing that. And then two, well, this so one of them is to post daily to Instagram, just because that became a problem last week, and to do it in stages and space things out if I need to. And the other goal here is, and I've already done it. The other goal is to write a script for a secret project as I have time to. If you stick around till the end of each episode, the past couple weeks I've just kind of dropped hints at what I'm doing with this like secret project. And last week I just busted out a script for it, and it's a very, very loose script. Not there's no like panels laid out, nothing like that. It's a very, very just loose script with dialogue and some action, and I'm really happy with it. I think it's pretty kick ass. So I've already kind of met my goals. Besides posting daily Instagram and continuing with Astropig. So my goals really are just to kind of maintain, get back on track, do the fundamentals, and I need to kind of get back on track with fundamentals. Honestly, I'm sorry, because that's been kind of what's slipping. I already have like 2 weeks worth of interviews lined up, and pretty damn excited about it. It's gonna be some good stuff. My wife and daughter are gonna be gone for like 3 days. No, at least 2 nights. Wednesday night, Thursday night, 2 nights. I should schedule something because those nights are like mine. Oh, see, damn, there I go again. Yeah, I should schedule something. I want to talk to people. I think I think it's kind of hitting me that I don't know, like I'm a podcaster first and an artist second. I think maybe it's way too early in the podcasting to make that call, but that's just where my priority is leaning toward the podcasting way more. And what's crazy is that this is what Gary Vaynerchuk recommends, is that he says for artists or for whoever, he says, think of yourself as a media company first and an artist second. Meaning, do a podcast, do a YouTube channel about your process or about tips or whatever. And then it's like, oh, and by the way, I also draw, or I do this, or I have a book coming out or whatever. And the same thing would work for like plumbers, uh, you're a media company first and a plumber second. So the media stuff would be tips on how to do it yourself stuff at home with plumbing. I don't know what the hell, pipes. Oh, I swore. Dang it. Dang it. All right. And so that would be the media portion of it. And then it's also, I'm a plumber, and uh, here's what I think. I don't know. So I'm a plumber second. Here's how to contact me, I guess, kind of thing. And I think I've really kind of taken that very literally. I'm a media, not company, but I'm a media person first. I'm a podcaster first, and an artist second. And the podcasting is all about my artwork, so it really goes hand in hand. But the priority is going toward podcasting recently. So those are my goals for the week. What tool am I using that I want to talk about? Uh, I want to get a little bit more specific than I typically do. Typically, I talk about an app or a thing, but I'm going to talk about a filter in Clip Studio Paint. So this is only good for Clip Studio Paint, which I highly recommend that people use. I've talked about that in a previous episode. Man, I can't believe I swore. I feel dang it. Anyhow, I really want to make this clean, and I don't want to have to go like download and censor it because it's going to add time onto my night. And I really want to get to bed. I have work in 6 hours. No, I have to get up. I have to get up for work in 6 hours. Anyhow, so in Clip Studio Paint, there's a. I was experimenting with like these like paper textures, and I found one called Japanese Paper 02, and I like it a lot. It's just got a cool kind of feel to it. And what I do is I lay it on top of whatever layer I want it to be over, or to apply that filter to, obviously. So I would put that on top of like the base, like the flats, um, and then I reduce it to 25% or 50% opacity so that you can see what's underneath it, obviously. And it gives it a cool, like, old kind of feel to it. Not too old, but it gives it like a cool, texture. And then what I've been doing is I will do a layer on top of the Japanese paper 02. So that way, whatever I color on top of there is not affected by the paper texture. So what I've been doing, like the flats and the paper texture, and then over it, I'll put highlights. The highlights really, I think, pop off the page more because they're on top of that paper layer, which is on top of the flats. So that's kind of, if you look at my upcoming pictures of Astropig, or even the ones I've already posted, and look closely, you might see that the highlights layer, or like if I'm adding like a glow effect, I don't want the glow to be um, dampened down or toned down by the paper texture. I want it to be on top of the paper and therefore like not affected by it. So the glow or any highlights will just pop out a little bit more. So yeah. And then for things like the background, like there was that space scene that I did, and the background is all black crosshatch. On top of that, I put the paper texture to give it, because I want that to be textured. But then I'll do stuff on top of the texture and make it pop out more. Which I think, like the glow of the sun, I believe I didn't do with. I believe I did on top of the texture and make it pop more. So yeah, there you go. Japanese Paper 02. I believe that was a free one that came with it. I might have downloaded it from the Clip Studio like media store or whatever. They have a lot of free stuff. All right, who am I following? I'm not following very many people, so this segment just got a lot more difficult. But I'll talk about Harold George. His Instagram is at Hero Artist. It'll be in the description. I'll link you to it. He's a very, very talented artist. He's worth following just for that reason. But on top of that, he's extremely supportive, very, very encouraging, very active in Discord, and he produces a lot. He posts, I believe, at least once daily. He's producing a lot and at a high level too. He's got a really, really very unique style. If you follow him already, like you already know what's up. His style is extremely different. It definitely sticks out. And it's very fun. But if you look in his feed, he can flex his artistic muscle a little bit. He's got a couple different things he can do. So he's definitely worth following um, as an artist, but also just as a cool guy and a dad. He also did an artist inventory challenge with me. I think he was the second or third one, which you can listen to if you go back in the podcast. So that's who I follow. Harold George at Hero Artist. Good guy, good artist. Definitely worth a follow. Who's following me? I'm going to talk about Chris Nesbitt Art. He's just another one of those incredibly engaging, incredibly supportive followers that I have. And I just feel super uh, not blessed. I don't want to say that. Um, Not privileged. What's the word? Appreciative? Yeah. I just feel very appreciative to have Chris Nesbitt Art as one of my followers. He's very engaging, very supportive. He wants to create his own comic. We were talking in DMs, and he says he's just kind of missing an idea to actually create. And I think a lot of people are a lot of artists are like that, and that's where I was with Sculpture Stories before I started that a few years ago. I wanted to draw something, I was ready, but I didn't know what to do, and that's where the sculptures came in. But I don't. Well, I combine. Actually, no. I'm sorry. The Jabberwock poem. That's where that came in. I looked into Creative Commons, and then I put the sculptures on top of that. I combined sculptures with Jabberwocky. So yeah, Chris Nesbitt Art. Thank you, man. You've been an incredible follower. I'm sorry I haven't been posting very much this week. You didn't say anything about that, but I'm just apologizing to you directly on behalf of everybody else, all my other followers. I'm sorry. I apologize for that. So, and then his problem of not having a story. I think I have a solution for this. And am I going to talk about it later? Let me look at my outline here. No. So I'll bring this up right now as a little teaser, I guess. I wrote this script, and I'm not going to say what it's about. No, I don't think I am. I might. I don't know. So I wrote this script, and I don't have time to make it. I'm not going to ever make it. I might make it, but not. Astropig is absolutely my focus. I'm not going down that road again where I'm doing two things at once, or three things, including the podcast. So Astropig is absolutely my goal and my focus, and that's not going to change. So I know I wrote this very loose script, and I know I'm not going to get to it anytime soon. I would like to because it seems like a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about the story, and the character. But it's just not going to happen. So I want to donate this script to the independent community, and I want to talk more about this with Lee of Comic Central. As I mentioned before. So I want to donate this to the independent community, and I think Comic Central would be a good place for that. But if she doesn't feel like that'd be a good idea for some reason, then I'll just do it through my website. I could do both, I guess, but I really want to get Comic Central involved because I like collaborating with them. So yeah, I think I have a solution for Chris Nesbitt Art. Or for anyone that is looking for a script to do that is it's geared toward anyone, but I think it'd be really good for beginners because it's one character in a background of nothing. There's nothing. It's all white. Um, and it's one character, and it's not just. I mean, more takes place, but that's it. I think it'd be a great thing for beginners. And I think it'd also be a really good thing for anyone who just wants a break from whatever they're doing to kind of cleanse the palate, clear the mind, and just work on something that's just fun. So I think that'd be a good for anyone, honestly. But yeah, that's. I think I have a solution for Chris Nesbitt Art and other people, and I'll talk more about it some other time. But that's kind of where something I have that I want to just kind of donate and no strings attached. I'm not going to ask for anything whatsoever from it. It's just for you guys. But I'll let you know when that is available, whether it's through Comic Central or myself or whoever. I don't know. So yeah. Last week's challenge, the Lab 5 weekly challenge. Last week, the challenge was to redesign a character. I redesigned the black suit Spider-Man. I made a couple attempts at it, and I don't like the way it looks. I was kind of like, I put a lot of time into it, and I just had to be like, okay, it's done. I have to move on, because I have to move on. There's other things I got to do. So it was Spider-Man was a lot harder to redesign than I thought. um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like it kind of sucked, but I don't know, it was still a good mental change for Master Pig. It was some good brain exercise. So I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad that Luke put that out there. He did Spawn. It came out pretty cool. Actually, it came out really cool. I thought it was a good design. Yeah, it had more of like a skull face. Um, yeah, so that was last week. But let's find out what the Lab 5 weekly challenge is this week.
What's up, Jprimecast? Luke here again with the weekly challenge. This week's challenge comes directly from Justin, the man himself. He suggested that we redesign someone else's original character, share it with them, and give them permission to use it however they like. The reason for this is that we are building rapport with someone in our art community. We are providing them value by giving them something for nothing. We're spreading the word about their character, and we're also showing them our skills and maybe gaining a bit of support ourselves. So that's it. Draw someone's OC, maybe reimagine it a bit, share it with them, see what they think, and if they dig it, let them use it however they like. Have some fun. Peace out.
Thank you. Oh wow, that was horrible. Thank you, Luke, for that. I definitely I want to take this on. I don't know whose character I'm going to redesign, but I think this is really important, man. We talked about this, and I'm glad you picked it. I think it's a really important need to give, and this is just in the spirit of giving. And I think especially to our independent community to know that we're not alone and that other people are willing to go above and beyond and give without asking in return. I think it's a big deal, man. Like I've been giving, I've been making a big effort to give, like to Comic Central recently, and I feel like I've made a really good connection with them. Um, just I think I've made a good, solid connection with Lee, and I'll be doing a couple talks this week with Comic Central, and it just comes from me, reaching out and saying like, just trying to basically give them more than they're giving me, and I feel like I've been attempting to do that, and I'm looking for more opportunities to do that. And all it does is like it just builds positivity, and it builds like they. I know Lee and Comic Central want me to win just as much as I want them to win. So I think we get so territorial with the stuff that we create, and I think we kind of overdo things and freak out. Oh, I did it again. Wow. Anyhow, so challenge accepted, Luke. Thanks, man. Uh, all right, the JP Weekly freebie. Each week I pick a free comic book from ComicCentral.com. This is fun because I get to see something new. I get a new story, new art, new creators. I get exposed to new people. I've been talking with the creators of Champions of Horror, and I have something scheduled, I think, in 2 weeks to talk to them, which I'm really looking forward to because they have a very different take on how their book, like I guess the function of their book, because it somehow interacts with the board game. So I can't wait to talk to them. The creator and the artist, I think, is their roles. So anyhow, the freebies are usually pretty short, so it's a quick read. You get to see new things, new creators. They're free. That's awesome. So this week I read a few things. This I'm going to talk about Future Girl, just real briefly. It's created by Ross Dannenberg, and there's a whole team of artists. There's a letterer, there's a colorist, and I'm not going to go through everybody, but Ross Dannenberg is the creator of Future Girl. It's good for kids and families, unlike tonight's podcast where I have dropped a couple of bad words. Um, so it's good for kids and families. It's a really cool like time story. I love time continuity stories, and it looks like it's setting up some future issues to deal with time continuity. And I love that stuff. And to do it in a way that's okay for kids and families and that they can wrap their minds around, I think it's gonna be cool. So yeah, Future Girl, it's a free comic on Comic Central. Definitely worth your time. And it's not like a teaser; it's like a full issue, which is super cool. All right, so that's the JP Weekly freebie. If you're still listening to this, you belong in the J Primecast community. It's on the Discord app. We don't do any gaming, but we use Discord. The It's by invite only, and I have no idea who you are. So you need to DM me or let me know that you want to join the group. Right now, we're still keeping it pretty small, which is cool. But I am allowing more people in right now. Oh, I just forgot. I'm sorry. I just remembered. Someone from the community had a request. Actually, he didn't request it. I volunteered it. Here's a great example of me trying to bring some positivity to someone who didn't even ask for it. So back when I talked about Harold George, and that's funny. I do all this by outline, and I have a blank spot for Roman numeral IV, and that's why I never filled in what that was supposed to be. It's supposed to be me giving a little plug to his upcoming event that he's trying to launch. It's called June. Shoot, is it Toon June? I think it's Toon June. TOONJUNE. If you go, he's already started plugging it. Oh, I hope I got that right, dude. I'll look it up while I'm talking. So it's called Toon June, just like Mermay or Inktober. He wants, and I think it's him and his Turlock Toon Squad. I'm hoping I'm getting that right. Um, he's trying to make June into the month of doing 30 drawings of cartoons and 80s cartoons in particular. And I believe he's going to have a prompt list, which for me would be really helpful. It's June Toon. He's got a Ren and Stimpy. Yeah, it says, "Will you take the I'm sorry. Will you take the challenge this June? Hashtag June Toon or hashtag June Toon 2018." I believe he's going to make a prompt list for us to go off of if you need it. For me personally, I would need it. I'm not going to be able to do it every day. Every day, I know that, but I would like to do once, one a week. I think that's doable. We'll see. So yeah, I totally forgot to plug that. June Toon. June Toon. Hashtag June Toon. There you go. Sorry about that, Harold, but I got it in there. And I might remind you guys next week also. So anyhow, if you're still listening, you definitely belong in the Jprimecast community on Discord. Just let me know you want in, and you're in. It's full of people that are very active and at various levels of skill and development and accomplishment. Um, but all of us there are motivated. We're all have a growth mindset. There's like practical advice, there's some feedback, there's inspiration, motivation, collaboration. It's some good stuff. It doesn't cost anything. It's just good times. It's super helpful. Everyone everyone there is pretty involved and is getting something out of it. So you're welcome to join. Just let me know you want in, and you are in. And that is the end of episode 12 of the J Primecast. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to me. Rate me on iTunes. Help spread the word. Appreciate it.